What would you do if the gift of your dreams came wrapped in chains you never asked for? That's the question I faced the summer I turned 22, standing in the driveway of my mom's new house, staring at a red sedan that gleamed like a false promise under the July sun. It was a 2010 Honda Civic, scratched but polished, with a bow on the hood like it was straight out of a cheesy commercial. My mom, Linda, stood beside her new husband, Greg, their smiles stretched tight like they were waiting for me to cry tears of gratitude. I didn't. Instead, I felt a knot in my stomach, the kind you get when you know something's off but can't yet name it. I've been living on my own for 2 years, scraping by on a barista's wage in a small apartment downtown. My old bike was my lifeline, pedaling through rain and heat to work, school, and the occasional open mic night where I'd read poetry to half-drunk strangers. A car? That was freedom. A ticket out of the grind, a chance to visit friends across state lines, to chase dreams without checking bus schedules. So when Mom called me over, saying she and Greg had a big surprise, my heart leapt. I should have known better. Gifts from Mom always came with a catch, like a fishhook hidden in bait. They handed me the keys with a flourish, Greg's hand lingering on mine a second too long. "It's yours, Ellie," Mom said, her voice syrupy. "We know how hard you've been working." Greg nodded, his eyes glinting with something I couldn't read. I walked around the car, running my fingers over the chipped paint, the dented fender. It wasn't perfect, but it was mine, or so I thought. I slid into the driver's seat, the leather warm from the sun, and turned the key. The engine sputtered, but roared to life. For a moment, I let myself dream road trips, late-night drives, the wind in my hair. Then Greg cleared his throat. "There's just one thing," he said, leaning against the car, his voice casual but sharp. "We're giving you the car, but we need you to help us out in return." I froze, the keys still dangling in my hand. Mom jumped in, her words tumbling out too fast. "It's nothing big, sweetie. Just come back home. Live with us. Help with the house, the bills. It's a family thing." My jaw tightened. Home. The house I'd left at 18 to escape her mood swings and Greg's creeping control. The car wasn't a gift, it was a leash. I looked at them, Mom's pleading eyes, Greg's smug grin, and something in me snapped. I laughed. Not a polite chuckle, but a loud, raw burst that echoed off the garage. Their faces fell, and I laughed harder, the sound bitter and free. "You think I'd trade my freedom for this?" I said, tossing the keys onto the hood. "Keep your car." I walked away, my bike waiting at the end of the driveway, my heart pounding with a mix of rage and relief. But the story doesn't end there. That night, I couldn't sleep, replaying the scene in my head. Had I been too harsh? Mom wasn't perfect, but she was still my mom. And Greg, well, he'd always been a manipulator, but maybe the car was her idea, a clumsy attempt to reconnect. I stared at the ceiling, the hum of the city outside my window, and wondered if I just burned a bridge I couldn't rebuild. The next morning, I got a text from an unknown number. "Meet me at the diner on 5th. I know about the car. Sam." Sam? I didn't know any Sam. But curiosity, that old traitor, pulled me out the door. The diner was a greasy spoon, all chrome and neon, smelling of coffee and bacon. A guy in his 30s waved me over, his face weathered but kind, with a scar above his eyebrow. "I'm Sam," he said, sliding a milkshake across the table. "Your stepbrother." I blinked, stunned. Mom had never mentioned Greg having kids. Sam leaned back, his voice low. "I heard what happened yesterday. The car? That's Greg's game. He did the same to me 5 years ago, offered me a truck if I'd work for his construction company. I said no, and he cut me out. You did the right thing, Ellie." Sam's words hit like a punch. He told me about Greg's patterned angling gifts to control people, to keep them close and compliant. Mom had fallen for it, too, trading her independence for a shiny new life with a man who saw family as pawns. Sam had been watching from a distance, too proud to reach out until he heard about my stunt in the driveway. "You've got guts," he said, grinning. Most people don't laugh in his face. I smiled, but inside I was reeling. A stepbrother? A whole history I didn't know? It was like finding a hidden room in a house you thought you knew. Over the next few weeks, Sam and I met up whenever we could. He was a mechanic, living in a tiny apartment across town, fixing cars by day and playing guitar in a local band by night. He showed me pictures of his life before Greg, him, and his mom, smiling at a beach before she passed and Greg remarried. I told him about my poetry, my dreams of publishing, my fear that I'd never escape the shadow of Mom's choices. We were strangers, but we understood each other in a way that felt like family, not the kind Greg tried to force, but the kind you choose. One day, Sam showed up at my place with a beat-up motorcycle, its chrome glinting in the sun. "Fixed it myself," he said. "It's not a car, but it's yours if you want it. No strings." I hesitated, the memory of the red sedan still sour. But Sam's eyes were steady, no hidden agenda, just a guy trying to do right by the sister he'd just found. I took the keys, my fingers brushing his, and, for the first time in years, I felt like I wasn't alone. Learning to ride wasn't easy. I wobbled, cursed, and nearly crashed into a dumpster, but Sam was patient, teaching me how to balance, how to lean into turns. The motorcycle became my freedom, not because it was fast or shiny, but because it came from someone who saw me as a person, not a pawn. I started taking it to open mic nights, parking it outside like a badge of who I was becoming. Mom called a few times, leaving voicemails about the car, about family, but I didn't call back. I wasn't ready. Maybe I never would be. One evening, as I rode home under a sky streaked with orange, I thought about the car again. It wasn't just a carrot, it was a symbol of everything I'd fought to leave behind. Control, guilt, the weight of other people's expectations. Laughing in their faces wasn't just defiance, it was a declaration. I'd chosen myself, my dreams, my life. And Sam? He was the twist I hadn't seen coming. The brother I didn't know I needed. Proof that family isn't always blood, it's the people who show up when you're ready to ride away. The road stretched ahead, open and endless. I twisted the throttle, the engine roaring beneath me, and laughed again, not out of anger, but joy. Freedom wasn't a gift someone could hand you. It was something you claimed, 1 mile at a time.